What's up, my lovely comic comrades? The DCEU's newest installment, Shazam, doesn't hit theaters until this weekend, but thanks to some early screenings, we were able to see it. So since my viewing orbs already feasted on DC's newest offering, I'm here to give you my spoiler-free thoughts. Now, if you've been watching Variant for a while and or know anything about me, you know I'm a massive fan of Shazam. I think him and Martian Manhunter are two of the most underrated powerhouses DC has to offer. So Shazam getting some spotlight lately with a brand new self-titled series by Jeff Johns and now obviously a blockbuster movie has made me extremely happy. Here's hoping my other bro, Martian Manhunter, is next to get the Hollywood treatment. But anyway, being a massive Shazam fan, or as purists would say, Captain Marvel, did I like the movie? Yes, I did. Quite a lot, actually. The film is just a ton of fun and definitely a family superhero film that kids will relate to very well. It goes without saying, but the whole concept of Shazam is a kid who's granted the powers of 6 gods, becoming essentially a magic-based Superman, and it's brilliant. In the comics, it's always been fun to see Billy Batson deal with that power from a kid's point of view, and I think the Shazam movie nails that perfectly. Zachary Levi was a perfect casting choice for Shazam. You truly believe he's a 15-year-old inside of an adult man's body. He's just so likable and endearing. And his delivery of figuring out what powers he has and the realization that he's bulletproof, has super strength, and can shoot lightning from his hands, all that stuff, priceless. I know there were a lot of haters when he initially got cast for the role, but in my personal opinion, he's a great Shazam. I also really dug Shazam's costume. It's a mixture of the New 52 Shazam costume and his costume from Justice League War, the animated movie. So as far as visually staying true to the comics and source material, they nailed it. Asher Angel as Billy Batson was also great. I have no complaints there. His whole story arc of being an orphan who's put in a foster home where he meets Freddy, Darla, Mary, Eugene, and Pedro, while still wanting to find his birth mom was well done, and I like the way it came full circle. Jack Grazer, who I originally know from the It reboot, who was great in that film, is also fantastic as Freddie Freeman in this film. He easily has some of the best lines in the movie. Freddie's relationship with Billy Batson, both as a kid and in his Shazam form, is absolutely brilliant, and probably the best aspect of the entire movie. For me, he sided with Zachary Levi being my favorite characters in the movie. They're like peanut butter and jelly, they just work so well together. I actually liked all of Billy's foster siblings, and can I just say, Darla was absolutely adorable. I just want to give her a hug and pinch her cheeks. Sorry, that's the dad coming out in me. Really cute kid. The villain in this movie is Dr. Sivana, played by Mark Strong. I'm a big Mark Strong fan and also thought he did a great job as Sinestro in Green Lantern. It's nice to see him get another shot at playing a villain in the DC universe, and I personally think he nailed it. They definitely changed Dr. Sivana's character quite a bit from the comics, but it worked in the movie, and again, Mark Strong played him perfectly. I will say though, as far as comics go, he looks pretty much identical to his New 52 counterpart. Then we have the Wizard Shazam, played by Jaimin Hansu. And what can I say? He did an awesome job. He also looked like he was ripped right from the pages of DC's New 52. Fun fact about Hansu, he also played the Fisherman King in Aquaman, so he now plays 2 characters in the DCEU, while simultaneously playing Korath the Pursuer in the MCU. As for the story of this movie, if you've read Shazam Volume 1 from the New 52, it's almost verbatim. The main difference being that they swapped out Black Adam with Dr. Sivana as the main villain. As much as I like Sivana in this film, I have to say I would have preferred Black Adam. It's kind of weird that he wasn't in the film, considering The Rock was cast as Black Adam long before this movie was even written. So I have to imagine there's some stuff going on behind the scenes which didn't allow for Black Adam to be the main antagonist, because that would have made a lot more sense. But on the bright side, at least it gives us something to look forward to in the future. In this movie, there's also a ton of references to Shazam villains, other characters, and additional things within the Shazam mythos. But since this is a spoiler-free review, I'll save all of that for my spoiler review. Just keep an eye out is all I'll say. Now at this point, you may be wondering, is there anything you didn't like about the movie? My only complaint would be that the first 25 minutes of the movie was pretty slow, and some of the acting was sort of cheesy, giving off a Disney Channel show vibe from time to time, but nothing excessive or unforgivable, at least in my opinion. So all of my complaints are minor things along those lines, nothing too major. So it's not a perfect movie by any means, as you could definitely pull things out that could have been better, but overall, I thought it was a lot of fun. I think they nailed the heart and core of the character. I mean, again, it's borderline verbatim the New 52 version of Shazam. So if you're a fan of Jeff Johns' run, like me, you're gonna love this movie. It has tons of humor, heart, and action. Basically, it's a fun movie almost everyone can enjoy. So if you have kids who love superheroes, they're probably gonna love this movie. I mean, it's about a kid who becomes a superhero. However, I will say there's a bit of language in a couple scenes regarding certain characters that are probably more violent than some parents may like their young kids to see. In fact, some characters might be nightmare-inducing for too young of an audience, so heads up there. Just gotta give you guys a warning. Overall, if you want something to compare the movie to tone-wise, and I know I'm not the first one to make this comparison, but the movie falls very much in line with Big starring Tom Hanks. Just think Big, but with the superhero. In summary, I really enjoyed this movie. It made me laugh non-stop, gave me tons of cool action, and more importantly for me, did one of my favorite superheroes justice. It's now my second favorite DCEU movie. Wonder Woman still holds the #1 spot for me, as I thought that was the better movie all the way around. But since people are always asking me to rank the DCEU movies from my favorite to least favorite, here you go. Starting with my favorite, working my way down, we have Wonder Woman, Shazam, Aquaman, Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, and lastly Justice League. And can I just say how much a shame it is that I think Justice League is the worst out of the bunch? That just makes me sad in my heart. As for end credit scenes go, there are two. The first one is a tease for who the villain's gonna be in the sequel, and the second is just for laughs. But to wrap things up, the DCEU is definitely looking up as of late, and I cannot wait for the Wonder Woman sequel, Matt Reeves' Batman movie, and the solo Joker movie. Although I don't think that one necessarily is attached to the DCEU. Anyway, how about this week's buy list? First up for Wednesday, April 3rd, we have Harley Quinn issue 60. Harley is trapped in Star Labs with no escape. Abandoned and alone, the former clown princess of crime must face down a horde of invading interdimensional aliens. Here we have the Justice League issue 21. In this issue, the Justice League pulls back the curtain on their futures and learns that not everything is as it seems. Now we have Captain America issue 9. Captain of Nothing continues. No costume, no shield, trapped behind bars with thousands of villains and killers who'd like nothing more than to see him dead. Next we have Cosmic Ghost Rider destroys Marvel History issue 2. The destruction of Marvel history continues. Can Cosmic Ghost Rider take up the mantle of Spider-Man? And finally, we have Immortal Hulk issue 16. Once upon a time, Rick Jones was the Hulk's best friend. Now Rick Jones is dead and gone. To learn why, Bruce Banner will have to face roaming gamma experiments and an assassin out for his blood. And that's gonna bring another episode of Variant to a close, but remember to check the links in our description for our Twitter, our Facebook, and Instagram. Also, if you like all our videos, give the subscribe button a little tickle. That'll be fun for us. I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.